Next one is process monitor. This is also part of the sys internals, sys internals is the name of this suite. However, again, this was acquired by Microsoft. This one is very useful, but it is very noisy, okay? So you can have a chance to see registry activity, network activity, file system activity. And normally you will enable either of those buttons because you don't want to have all of them enabled because it's a lot of information. You cannot imagine a lot of all the tasks that a binary runs while executing. So you really want to focus on the meat. So you will learn how you can filter out easily and focus on what you really want to analyze. Okay, that's process monitor. What else from process monitor? It can affect the performance of UPC because it's a lot of login, so you don't want to do it for a long time. So you will see how it works in the labs. As I said, it shows registry, file system, network, and process activity. API monitor. API monitor, again, you can see here the website. Be careful with the website because since it is HTTP, it is being tagged as malicious. And again, these tools just run them in the virtual machine, never in your own machine. And this one is very useful because basically shows you all the APIs that are being called by the binary. Why is this being useful? Because suddenly you want to know what the malware is calling, and then you will identify some APIs that are obfuscated when you see the file statically at disk, but when it runs, suddenly you see some APIs that are malicious, and that's going to give you a hint of what the malware is doing. So it's pretty useful for dynamic analysis, and we have it in our lab. Okay. As very important to mention, by APIs we mean all the different functions, Windows functions, which are the Windows APIs that are being called, and therefore you can see how they are being executed. Okay. Okay. Cuckoo Sandbox. Cuckoo Sandbox is another very useful tool that is lately been working on another version. It used to be Cuckoo version 2. There is a newer version, Cuckoo 3, that now supports Python 3. Still is not being maintained that often, but is an option. We probably are not going to be using it a lot in our labs, but it's very important for you to know because this tool is the difference between this tool and the normal sandboxes that you find in internet is that this one you can run it locally in your own lab, so you don't need to submit your own samples to internet. What that means is, let's suppose that you are working in a incident in your company and you don't want to upload the binaries to internet because might be an internal incident, right? So you really want to keep it private. So Cuckoo Sandbox can be a sandbox for you to run it locally, and you doesn't need to expose it, basically. That's, to me, the main difference. And the good luck is that there was a latest port by these guys from CertEE that they ported to Python 3. So here is the GitHub if you want to give it a try. No? So it allows you to do API monitoring. You basically upload the sample to the sandbox. It will tell you which files were created, downloaded from internet. The network traffic can be captured in a pcap. You know, the pcap is a file that you can see the traffic being used by the malware. You can take screenshots of what the malware is doing. The sandbox takes screenshots for you. Memory dumps for the process. That's very important because you can see what the memory content is for the processes being running. And as I said, you can implement it in your lab. That's the main advantage, because you don't need to expose the files in internet. Okay, network traffic. Many tools for network traffic. This is very important because we really want to know where the malware is connecting, right? Where it is sending information or downloading information. So the first one is Wireshark. This a protocol analyzer, is more than just a sniffer, and basically it can allow us to capture traffic. The good news is that it doesn't interfere with the malware. However, sometimes the malware checks if Wireshark is installed in the machine and it doesn't run, right? So it's different options that we will check when we want to use Wireshark or when we want to use another tool. Also, we can use Wireshark in the same segment of the network, not in the same machine, and that way we can, run Wireshark capturing traffic without the malware noticing that we are monitoring all the information in the network. It runs on Windows and Linux, captures live packets in transparent way. In other words, it doesn't interrupt the malware. It has multiple protocols supported. It's the best tool today, and is free. Saves the data, the traffic, in a pickup file for you to analyze later. It has colors, as you see, for distinguishing different parts of the protocol or different parts of the packet. The second one is called FakeNet. FakeNet is more intrusive, meaning this one is gonna actually fake that the machine is connecting to internet. Okay, that's why it's called FakeNet. As you remember, we explained this also in another lab. We're gonna have some exercises, and it's created by Mandiant. And basically, this is a very good example the way it works. You see here, for example, let's say that you run FakeNet in Windows. This runs in Windows, and this runs locally, meaning the malware will run at the same time with FakeNet in the same machine. And let's suppose that you are monitoring DNS traffic, the DNS protocol, which help us to translate host names to IP addresses. And let's say that the malware is trying to talk to the DNS server at 4.2.2.1 at port 53, which is the UDP port for a DNS server. So what FakeNet is gonna do is gonna catch that request, and it's gonna redirect it, you can see here, to the own local machine, port 53. This port 53 is the emulation of the DNS server, making the malware think that it is talking to internet. And then it's going to reply back to the malware. The malware thinks it is going to internet, and then it's going to start sending information. And if the malware is not making sure it's not being monitored, it's pretty cool because you can actually get information from the malware without even allowing it to connect to internet. That has advantages and disadvantages. Okay, it depends on the analysis, but it can help you for that reason. And you can also support multiple protocols: HTTP, SMTP, SMB, many other ones. And actually has also a custom way for you to send the response that you want to send back to the malware. Okay, as I said, SMB is not support. Sorry for that. It supports DNS, HTTP, SSL. SSL is very important. It supports many other ones like POP3, SMTP. SSL is very important because it actually allows to put a man in the middle so that it can break the encryption, and then we can see the traffic going out. Okay. Able to serve minimum files requested by the malware. In other words, if the malware is trying to download a file from internet, we can customize FakeNet to download it to the malware, a fake one, so that the malware continues executing, and then we can see what it is doing. Okay, so that's the beauty of that. It's not a real website in internet, but we are faking it. It can redirect. Actually, it redirects all traffic to localhost, as I showed you in the previous slide. Captures the pickup traffic in a file. You can actually also get memory dumps per process or machine, which is pretty cool. And again, it is a Windows-based tool that can help us to fake the malware into thinking it is connecting to internet. And as I said, it can decrypt SSL traffic because it performs man in the middle locally in the machine. What would be the difference between Wireshark and FakeNet? Maybe you might already noticed. One is live mode, the other one is local mode. Okay, so live mode, meaning Wireshark, means it's real traffic, can record second stage payloads downloaded, obviously. So you really want to get the second stage payloads downloaded. So you might be asking, hey, wait a second. So I really want to get the second stage downloaded so that I can analyze it. That's true. But probably at the beginning, before you do that, you really want to understand what the malware is doing before allowing it to connect to the internet, to the malicious servers. That is a really good reason for you to use FakeNet, because first you understand what the malware does and then you let it go. But if you just let it go, you don't even have control, and you might be just get your machine infected and you don't even know what's going on. Okay, so that's why FakeNet allows you to do first a local assessment, understanding, before letting it go on internet. Okay, can alert hackers that you are hunting them. You know, if you let it go with Wireshark and the malware is smart enough, it's gonna say, hey, this is a researcher machine, I won't serve you anything, and that's it. You won't get the second stage, never. Okay, and the local mode is no real traffic, as we said, no data exfiltration. You do not alert hackers that are being investigated. That's the good news. And again, as I said, it allows you to understand first what the malware is trying to do before letting it go crazy on internet. And you know, it can allow you to do the SSL decryption, which definitely Wireshark is not gonna be able to do. The next one is Inetsim. This is a very old tool, guys. Probably not maintained that much. It is, you see, these guys, 2010. You guys, maybe you were not even born. No, yeah, forget about it. You were already born. You are old. So, but yeah, this is definitely very old and pretty useful. The only difference between this one and mainly FakeNet is that you can run this. This is like a combination between Wireshark and FakeNet, in a sense that you can sniff the traffic, but in a Linux machine, and you can redirect all the traffic from the machine that you are running the malware to this Linux machine, and this guy is gonna reply back to the malware. Again, it's like FakeNet. It doesn't allow to the malware to go to internet. It mimics all the different protocols, but you can see it supports many other protocols different than FakeNet. However, most of those protocols are more for Unix or Linux environments. So if you have a malware that runs on Linux, probably Inetsim is the best choice. And if it is a malware running on Windows, either FakeNet or Inetsim can do the job for you. Okay, again, supports multiple protocols. It responds with a fake timestamp for services. I mean, it can customize all the responses as FakeNet also. You know, while by you modifying the response, as I said here, you can reply to whatever the malware is expecting to change the behavior. It has dummy services, to fake the services and make it feel the malware it is talking to the real service. You can configure the banner. It can log all the data received for you to analyze it. So basically, it gives you all the information. Logging wise, it can log everything that it is doing while communicating with the malware. Okay, so that's another option for us. And back to sys internals, there is TCP view. TCP view is another tool that allows us to see the traffic. It is not that useful like FakeNet and Inetsim for seeing the content. I really want to recommend this for you if you want to see if there is a process being infected. That's pretty cool, because basically it allows you to see the traffic coming out from the processes in your system. That's the option. And also is if suddenly the malware opens up a new port locally, you will see it here listening suddenly. So it is pretty useful for finding backdoors being used by the malware and processes generating traffic maliciously. You can see right away and confirm that the malware is being infecting another process, for example. Okay. Sorry. That's pretty much what I already